welcome back to Cinematic Dread. Today we'll be discussing and reviewing Re-Animator. This will be spoiler-free, which may limit some discussion or points, but fear not, I plan to make additional videos about this movie at some point. So here's a little scope before we get into the meat of it all. Herbert West, the young and amoral mad scientist, strictly guided by his own hubris. His only goal is to conquer the equation of death scientifically. Re-Animator is a comedic, entertaining, and a fitting masterpiece of 80s horror that every fan should consume. Grab a drink, kick back, and let's talk about this gem of a movie here on Cinematic Dread. Re-Animator follows the relentless dedication of an eccentric medical student named Herbert West, who has developed a reagent that can reanimate the dead. Following a mysterious incident abroad at the University of Zurich in Switzerland, Herbert arrives in Arkham, Massachusetts at Miskatonic University to continue his research. However, the experiments conducted unleash unimaginable horrors, as each spirals further out of control in the pursuit of defeating the reality of death. Re-Animator is definitely a cult classic of the 80s that includes over-the-top gore, dark comedy, and one of the best mad scientists in horror. The movie was released in the US October 18, 1985, and it was directed and written by Stuart Gordon, which happened to be the director's first film. Re-Animator is loosely based off of H.P. Lovecraft's 1922 novelette, Herbert West, Re-Animator. I say loosely because Gordon has his own feel for the imagination, which includes surpassing boundaries that Lovecraft purists never would. The following quote aligns well from Gordon Stewart himself. "Horror and sex go hand in hand. I think that the two are life and death." What can I say? The acting is exactly what you would expect from an 80s horror flick. Although it was a sincere effort from all of the actors, and there weren't any lines, scenes, or moments that felt cringy. The movie knows exactly what it is and walks along that line throughout the entirety of the film. Jeffrey Combs plays Herbert West, which he nails as a solid mad scientist. He remains true to himself throughout the film, amoral, driven, and obsessed with his goal. Bruce Abbott plays as Dan Kane, essentially a top-tier medical student at the university who becomes involved with the experiments. His character is reasonable and relatable as he navigates the implications from his involvement with Herbert West. Barbara Crampton plays as Megan Halsey, who is also a medical student at the university and is dating Dan Kane. She's very much in love with Dan and errs on the side of caution throughout the film. Overall, every character within the film are enjoyable. I might add, even those affected by the experiments are on point. Hell, there's even several minor characters in the film that all fit in where they need to be. The first that comes to mind is a security guard that just cracks me up. But anyway, it's all fitting with the feel of the movie. So let's take a moment to talk about cinematography and direction of the film. Please take this with a grain of salt, as this can be a varying angle depending on what you like out of film. Stuart Gordon's vision succeeds in creating a dark and cozy atmosphere. Most shots are within smaller rooms and closer up to expose character expressions. It has a way of focusing on gore that's respectable. The way the camera will follow or angle on certain shots adds to the horror-esque likeness to the movie. The lighting remains consistent and dim, with the feeling like it's 2 a.m. in every shot, through use of high contrast lighting, which includes light and shadow. While at the same time, it does an excellent job of using vibrant colors, such as when you see the Regent for the first time. Overall, Re-Animator is visceral and grotesque, while nailing the gothic horror visual feel and a nightmarish atmosphere throughout. Alright, so let's discuss entertainment value and pacing. This movie is a blast from beginning until the end. We're talking mid-1980s here, so the movie relies 100% on practical effects. This means that the scenes are over the edge, creative, and fantastic when it comes to bloody gore. Let's not forget that this movie is also intentionally hilarious, as it is a horror dark comedy. There's certain scenes and character reactions that embody that feeling well, and it's great. At around 86 minutes runtime, the movie progresses well and never really felt slow. As you follow Herbert's madness, it's constantly escalating throughout, which keeps you enticed. You want to see what's next, whether it's climactic or not. I've always really enjoyed this movie, and it's a good time even if you've seen it a bunch. I wouldn't call this a slow burner at all. Even though this movie is loosely based off of H.P. Lovecraft's 1922 novelette, as noted earlier, the movie is very unique. The baseline was there, but Stuart Gordon turned it into his own adaptation. It exemplified a balanced mix of gore and dark humor. The protagonist, as I like to call a mad scientist, is unique compared to others that exist in other works. The undead were depicted in a new way not seen in other movies. The feel and darkness of the movie contrasted well. Okay, so is this actually scary? No, of course not. Does it embody the feeling of horror? Absolutely. This movie nails the horrors of undying dedication, the realities of death, and what that could look like if we were to be revived. The take on how that is represented in this movie is terrifying and agonizing. Unknown boundaries are being crossed with unexpected outcomes, and that's always an anxiety-inducing situation. Although this may be a point of contention, this movie is absolutely horrific, even with its well-placed comedic undertone. So, what's the verdict? Re-Animator is one of the best horror dark comedies of all time, yet alone from the 80s. From the nightmarish visual style to over-the-top gore, this movie was top of the deck for its time. Overall, here's my breakdown ratings for each category and a brief description as to why. Plot, 4 stars. Unique story and twist on the genre, and the location of Arkham, Massachusetts, which is a consistent town throughout much of H.P. Lovecraft's work. Nice touch. Acting and characters, 3.5 stars. It includes one of the best mad scientist characters from any movie and supporting cast. Cinematography and direction, 3.5 stars. Dark visual style and how the characters were captured. Entertainment and pacing, 4 stars. Practical effects, edgy gore, and constant escalation of the story, all within 86 minutes. Originality, 4.5 stars. Despite loosely using source material, it became a love child that was uniquely different. Horror, 4 stars. A combination of all the above, including the depictions of coming back from the dead and undying dedication to a goal. Total rating, 3.9 out of 5 stars. Do you agree with this take? Please let me know what you feel in the comments below, and if there's anything that you feel I missed the mark on or that you agree with overall. Also, while this was a shorter format type video, I wanted to note that I have some ideas for other content that is related to the movie and/or universe. Please let me know if this sounds interesting to you, as I can prioritize that type of content over other plans. Please like the video and subscribe if you enjoy my perspective and movie review style. I'd also like to note that this was my first full format video that I've ever created. Crazy, right? I will definitely develop and grow from this process and further videos that I intend to create. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side here at Cinematic Dread.